A while back, I bought 2 batches of these W1209 temperature control units, and they're not the same. You can see here this chip is different from this chip. This chip here is a 16 pin chip. This is a 20 pin chip. The relays are the same, and by the looks of it, most of the circuitry is the same. There's a slight difference in the NTC. This one's 21.2 millimeters long, or 0.83 inches, and this is 26.5 millimeters, or 1.04 inches. So there's some slight differences that way. What you do with these units is you set a temperature, single push each one of them, and then you can increase or decrease it using these 2 buttons. So if it hits 21 degrees, and okay, see there's a difference right there. This one here doesn't reset. You actually have to push the button again. Now I'm just going to go into the programming of it. You hold for 5 seconds, PO. You push again. I've got it set in heating mode. So both of these are set in heating mode. That part's identical, except this one, of course, doesn't reset automatically. In heating mode, when it hits 21 degrees, the relay turns on. And then if you've got, I'll go through the diagrams shortly, but let's go through the rest of the programming. So P1, 2. That's basically 2 degrees. Both of these units work in centigrade only. So right now with the 2 degrees, if I've got it set at 21 degrees for turning on for heating, when it hits 23 degrees, it turns itself off. And then it waits until it gets down to 19 degrees before it turns back on. I think that's the way. And if I screwed it up, I'll put it here. Then P2. This is just the set upper limit, 110 degrees. If you're using these, say, for an incubator, you're going to want to make sure you set that much, much lower. So P3. And so far, this one's identical to this one. Minus 50, set the lower limit. Same idea. P4. Temperature correction. Right now it's set at 0. So if I push this, it'll decrease the reading by 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, or I can increase it. And you have 15 degrees range that you can adjust the probe. You'd hope they're never that far out. Now we start getting into P5. This is a delay in start. I believe you're going to have to play with yours to see what they're set for. One sheet says 10 seconds, other sheet says 600 seconds. So who knows what you're getting. P6 doesn't do anything on this one. It actually was supposed to, but it doesn't. P7, 50. Don't know what it is, though. It was supposed to be setting between centigrade and Fahrenheit, but these only do centigrade. P8, C. Now this is kind of cute. H. Now that, of course, on other sheets was supposed to be for P7. But if you set this to Fahrenheit, which is the H, it just resets back to centigrade. Oh, actually, I'll show that. Oops. Give it a moment. or 2, or 3, or 4. There. It's totally ignoring it. So this one will not operate in Fahrenheit. The other instructions say that if you push these while it's operating, it'll switch it. No, they don't. Now on this one here, for up to P5, it's the same. P6, oops, hold for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Off. Now, that's the alarm. Though there's nowhere to plug in to use an alarm. And, oops. That was 6. There is no 7 or 8. So there are slight differences. Now, what am I going to use this for? I'm just going to plunk this down right on top. I live in Canada. We have cold winters. Luckily, I migrated to Vancouver Island and our winters aren't nearly as brutal here. So, in the house, cough, cough. In the house, I'm going to have a wall wart that'll put out 12 volts. It'll come over. One goes to the relay, the other one goes to the 12 volt on the board. The ground comes across, going to the ground, down, over, and I've got 2 hefty power resistors, and I'm going to replace these ones with cheaper ones, since where they're going to be going to. So that'll put 12 volts onto this part of the relay. So when it needs to heat, and this will be set at about 1 degree centigrade, the relay would turn on. I get about 1 amp going through here, and that will give me 12 watts of heating. Now, I'll just cut in with a short video I took a moment ago, or day ago, showing what my plumbing set up. And I'll talk as I show it. Basically, my cutoff valve to the water for the house is located underneath the house. I don't fit there. And it's literally a right angle turn to get into there. It's a horrible design. So what I did was, when the plumbing got taken out a while ago, I had the plumber put in a shutoff valve outside. The problem with that is we do get sometimes some very cold weather, and you need a heater. Now, most people would go, well, you can just go buy one of those AC heaters that you wrap around the pipe. The problem is there's not much pipe there to be wrapped around, and I couldn't find one small enough to fit in there. So, and I also don't like to run AC out to anything, basically, in the yard. So I'm just going to run it all DC. When the temperature gets cold, I'll plug in the wall wart inside the house, and if the temperature gets low enough, then the thing will turn on. 12 watts of heat in there is lots, so not an issue.